Frequency 1138 is all clear and clanker free. This is Clone Army Radio.
What is up, Clone Army? We are back for another Mandalorian Aftershow. I am one of your hosts, CT5555, also known as Fives. And as per usual, I am joined by my counterpart, CT4444, also known as Fours, also known as Human Cyborg Relations.
What is up, man?
Oh, man.
Clone man.
Clone man.
Number fives.
I don't know. I think the human cyborg relations thing is sticking. I like it. I don't know if you do, but I enjoy it.
Oh, that's fun. A little R2D2 situation, you know.
Right.
Little R2 to your C3PO, or Batman to your Robin, or Robin to your Batman, what have you.
Whichever way you want to do it.
Anyway, works for me. Your counterpart.
Just remember the two key elements. So we are at episode 6, chapter 14, The Tragedy, directed by Robert Rodriguez.
It is a tragedy. Oh boy. Cheers.
Right. Robert Rodriguez, I had no idea he was even directing, but he's done Sin City, Alita Battle Angel, Desperado, one of my favorites, Machete, Spy Kids, I think, was it Kill Bill, or did he do both of the Kill Bills, or I don't know.
No, I don't think he did the Kill Bills. He did a movie From Dawn to Dusk, was it?
Oh, dude, that's another movie I love. From Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he did his first movie, El Mariachi.
Oh, right, yeah, because that makes sense, because he did Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I actually own all of those on DVD.
There you go. So he is definitely versed in nerd culture, I guess you could say.
Yeah, for real.
He's definitely has the street cred to be doing Star Wars. And dude, this episode, man, was it good?
Right. I know. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. One thing I wanted to bring up that, you know, something I think most Star Wars fans probably know at this point, but the passing of David Prowse, the man, Darth Vader, basically. Right. So that's too bad to hear about that.
Yeah, man. What a bummer of a thing to happen while, you know, we're riding this Mandalorian wave of super Star Wars fandom right now. You know, one of the iconic actors to be in Star Wars, the man, you know, behind the mask. They didn't use his voice, but, you know, they did use his body language, and he did all the mannerisms, and you know, picked up the Emperor, and it's too bad. We're gonna miss him, and, you know, hope he's resting in peace, and you know, he's definitely beloved by the community, and he'll never be forgotten.
Absolutely. Well spoken, and I don't think I need to add anything to that.
Oh, and catch his documentary that they made about him. It's called, I forgot the name. Hold on, I have to look it up, because it's definitely a good movie.
Okay, I didn't know there was one. Did you happen to ever hear him speak the lines of Darth Vader?
Yeah, they do a little bit in this documentary.
Oh, okay. Because I just another show I was listening to a couple days ago played some of it. It was it would have been a whole totally different world if they had used his voice, but like I was kind of digging it at the same time. I mean, obviously James Earl Jones is amazing, but I don't know. It was just a very different take on the character. It was kind of funny and kind of cool.
Right. The documentary is called I Am Your Father. And it came out in 2015, and it's a Spanish movie, but it's not in Spanish. I don't think. I don't remember it being much in Spanish, but just by a Spanish director. But it goes into all that. It goes into how they didn't use his voice and they didn't use his face, and kind of how he got like cheated out of that. And it talks about how he got like kind of like blacklisted from Star Wars, you know, not to spoil anything, but
yeah, you know, I remember hearing about that.
Right. He just wants to be a part of it all, and they kind of did him dirty a little bit. So yeah, I Am Your Father. Check it out. It's definitely a good. I think I saw it on Netflix or Amazon Prime, something like that.
Nice. Well, I've got all those, so I'm sure it's on one of them. So I guess like two other things I wanted to touch on before we tackle this episode. I know this is, you know, the tragedy, but one thing, you know, over the last week, I don't listen to a lot of different podcasts, but I've got my little circle of ones that I listen to every week. And I was kind of surprised that nobody picked up on like what I mentioned to you last week about baby Grogu's sadness at the start of the episode. No one that I listened to brought it up, that he just, you know, looked really bummed out and kind of moping around and all of that. So I don't know if maybe that's just me that picked up on that, or I don't know. I mean, did you pick up on that at all the next time you watched it?
Yeah, with that in my head, it kind of like influenced me to watch it that way.
I gotcha.
So yes, the second time I watched it, I definitely was under the impression that Grogu was upset about leaving Mando and didn't want to, and but like worked towards not going with Ahsoka and staying with Mando.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time I watched it, I noticed at the end, Ahsoka gives Baby Yoda like a look, and in that look, I'm like, oh, she's like telling him, you know, you're getting what you want.
Yeah,
getting to stay with the Mando. So with Din,
right? Yeah, it definitely seemed like that's where that was going. But yeah, just that, you know, him taking that the shift knob. I think that was like going to be his keepsake if he was going to leave Mando. That was going to be something to remember him by, or something like that.
Right. Definitely becoming that. Yep.
Yeah. So then one other thing was I wanted to ask. I don't think I asked you last week. What did Little Fours think of the name Grogu?
Oh, I think she says it's cute.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. She said it was cute. She likes it. And I don't. It's going to take some time, but I'm coming around, and she's coming around to Grogu, because she asked me today, "How do you say his name again?" And I go Grogu, and she's like Grogu.
Nice. Yeah. Mrs. Fives. When we watched it that night, she's like, Grogu. Like,
oh
yeah, she was not into it. And then I was like, but call him Baby Grogu, and she's like, oh, I like that.
Oh, nice. Baby Grogu. I haven't heard anyone put that together yet.
Oh, really?
Nice job. Yeah.
See, that's what I've been referring to him as all week, Baby Grogu. Just trying to get used to not calling him Baby Yoda, which is still kind of hard, but...
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is Baby Grogu the love child of Yoda and Yaddle?
I mean, that's been one of the bigger conversations. I mean, he very well could be. We haven't seen. That's the thing, is we haven't seen Yaddle. I think the only time we saw her was in The Phantom Menace. I don't know that I ever saw her in Attack of the Clones or The Revenge of the Sith. Maybe Yaddle's still alive. Maybe Yaddle is the someone that took Grogu out of the temple during the Purge.
Very cool thought, yeah. And if, you know, we know Grogu was trained by many masters, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yoda, Yaddle.
Yaddle was on the council too.
Ah.
Yeah, I think she was, because I have the figure that, yeah, because she came in the Jedi Council set that I have.
How about that? And then, well, I mean, are they allowed to have that type of relationship?
Well, no, because I mean that's why Anakin and Padme had to hide theirs.
Right.
Hmm.
Maybe Yoda, there's more up Yoda's sleeve than we know.
Right. You might be onto something there.
How about that?
All right, fours. Episode 6, Chapter 14, The Tragedy. Everyone listening, if you have not watched the episode, please go watch it for a couple reasons. One, it was really good, and two, we're spoiling the heck out of it. So, which I guess you would know if by it being called the Aftershow, but I figure we'll be good and give that warning anyway. So,
warning, danger.
Nice. All right, man. So going into this, I didn't know what to expect, which I love.
Yes.
Last week we're like, okay, we know Ahsoka's coming this episode. This week it's like, we even said when we were talking, it's all up in the air. We don't know. We've no idea. And I stayed away from Star Wars news and everything all week because I wanted to be surprised, and gosh darn it, I was.
We were right on a couple things, though.
Oh, were we now?
Yeah, that's from what I remember.
Okay.
We were right that that two things were going to come into play: the tracking beacon and the Jedi temple. I mean, two basic things, but
we were also expecting like this episode to be more of the side mission, and
right.
Like I was expecting this situation to be the end of the season, and they're like, no, we're giving it to you 2 episodes before that. But yeah, I mean, we were like right on with most of that. Even we assumed that Moff Gideon was going to take Baby Yoda or Grogu.
Baby Grogu.
Right. So okay, yeah. So the title, The Tragedy, pops up on the screen, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be bad, but it's gonna be good.
When that came up, I'm like, Baby Yoda, Baby Grogu, is gonna be taken.
Yeah.
That's the tragedy.
Oh yeah, and man, it was.
Was it?
All right, so what is your letter grade this week, man?
A+.
Really?
Yes. You can't. This is it. This episode, dude. Fellow clone. My hands are in the air right now. This episode, it can't get any better than what happened in this episode. I mean, you can't beat this. For any reasons.
Wow.
I mean, you can beat it, I'm sure, but like, this is like a 10 out of 10, an A+. I mean, everything that goes down, dude. The Boba Fett coming back out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Slave One showing up. When Slave One showed up, I'm like, what? I like was screamed like, what? I'm like, no way. Boba Fett kicking butt. Like finally, like doing something. Like he did something.
Oh yeah, not to. Well, I am cutting you off, I guess. But do you remember? I'm sure you remember a little while back where you picked him as your most overrated character.
Exactly.
How do you feel now?
I feel like I've been like somebody heard us and it was like overrated. I don't think so. Have you watched him have you seen him in the comic books? And I would go, comic books, yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like only like a one person experience, a comic book.
Right.
This is a show where like millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of people, I don't know, are watching it throughout the week or whatnot. So you get to experience it with a lot more people, and you get to show see, I mean, from the comic books, he was great. Those bounty hunter comic books that they made.
Yeah.
Dark Horse comics. But not a lot of people even knew those existed. So that's why I'm like, he's capable of so much more, and then on screen, what we get to see is nothing. We get to see nothing. Him blunder his chance away. And then now today, after this episode, and what he's done, and how ruthless and like of a fighter he is. I don't know. And he's great, and he's much more than what was in the original trilogy.
Right. I think that he in this one episode, I think that he did more than he definitely did more than he did in the original trilogy, but I think he did more than Jango Fett as well.
Yeah.
You know, like you get little glimpses of Jango Fett being that Western style character, but dude, I mean, this was just wow. Like again, like I said last week, I was saying a different version of Dank Farrik with Boba Fett coming out.
My mouth was agape the whole time when I was watching this.
Me too, and even just talking about it now, I have the goosebumps again. By watching it, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So we'll jump back to that shortly. So for me, I'm gonna go a little different from your letter grade.
Okay.
I don't really. No, I'm just kidding. It's an A+.
You got me. You did the thing. Where it's like they do it on the show all the time. Like how are they gonna get? They got out of it. Oh, that's great. All right, so so we can only go down from our letter grades. So there's only downward. But
dude, I mean, like for everything you just said, I was like, how is it over? When the episode was over, I'm like, what? How? What? It was so just like. I was so in it. I was in the episode, and from start to finish. Start to finish. From the second it started to the second it ended. I mean, it wasn't. I was in there too. I was just like, it was Christmas. Today was Christmas. There you go. That's a wonderful way to say it, man.
Today was the Christmas morning. I got like the anticipation. Seriously, I had butterflies in my stomach. Thinking about it. Like, oh my. Before watching it, I'm waiting for my daughter to wake up, like, because I was up, I was like ready to go, like, oh, I can put it on now. I know I can't, that'd be, I mean, it's out there. I mean, it's like it's available to watch. Because there was no build up to it. There was no, you don't know what you were going to get,
right?
And you got something completely amazing. For a couple more things, you got to see the dark saber again,
right?
You got to see Mando and the kid interacting a little bit in the beginning. Like he says, Grogu. Ah.
I know. And then he laughed too. Mando laughed after he looked.
He's like, I'm loving this.
Right. Yeah, I loved that because he was like, I mean, he wasn't really training him, but he was like helping Grogu practice using the Force, basically.
Yeah.
Like a version of playing catch with your kid, right?
For sure, dude. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it was a really great moment, and then when he takes the ball and he's like, Dank Farrik, and Grogu's all like, oh, like he thought he was like mad at him, and he's like, no, you're doing great, or whatever he says.
That was like a good Dank Farrik, like a hot darn.
Yeah. Oh, it was so good, dude. Pedro Pascal, man. He just continues to amaze me. And I shouldn't be amazed because I've seen his work. He's great, but just his interactions with Grogu. I mean, his interactions with everybody. He's just, dude. He needs to win some awards. This
show is going to win a lot of awards this season for whatever it's up against. I mean, this is probably the best TV show on TV right now.
Mm-hmm.
And this episode, it's probably first it was Battlestar Galactica, then Game of Thrones, and now it's this. But I think this episode is like one of my favorite episodes over like all of Battlestar Galactica.
Wow.
Like I'd watch this episode over like anything on Battlestar Galactica. Isn't that weird? It's a little much. Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's necessarily weird. I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Of course, while you're saying that, I'm picturing the episodes of Battlestar when they're on that like forest planet with Chief and Baltar and them. Not to compare or anything, but when you said that, I'm like, okay, I could go back and watch that like section of 2 or 3 episodes pretty much any time because those were awesome. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Before today, my favorite episode of The Mandalorian was season 1, and I can't remember the title of it, but it was the one when Din drops off Grogu to the client, and then he goes back into the Razor Crest, and he goes to use the shifter and sees the knob missing.
Yeah.
And he goes and rescues Baby Yoda, and the Mandalorians all come to help him out on their jetpacks, and there's that big battle. That's been my favorite episode up until this point. I would say this one is so far my favorite episode of the show, and probably, to touch on what you were saying, I could probably pick this over any episode of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's big too, because there's a lot of, but I guess just because this is fresh on the mind, and I'm like, oh man, I want to watch this over everything right now.
Yeah, seriously. Same here.
It was just so good.
I want to watch this over pretty much anything I've watched. I saw it twice, right?
Oh.
The second time, it was so quick. The first time I watched it, I'm like, oh man, this is a nice long episode.
Oh, really?
But then the second time I watched it, I'm like, oh, this was the shortest episode ever.
Nice.
You would think it would be the other way around, but no. It's so weird. I don't know. It was awesome. I mean, people coming back. What's her name? Fennec
Shand. Yeah.
Fennec Shand. Where's she come from? She comes out of nowhere again. Like you can't stay dead in this universe. Like,
right.
Everyone comes back.
And they spoiled it at the beginning because they showed that scene from last year.
They did spoil it.
But I think I never really felt that she was dead. Like I didn't think that she was dead in that episode.
She took a gut shot. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
And then what do they do? What does he do? He turns her into a robot there?
That's what I wanted to ask you. I'm like, is she like part robot, part cyborg? Like, are those cybernetics? Did she always have that? And maybe that it just like short circuited her when she got shot. I've got questions, but I do not have a problem with her being there.
Okay.
I think that like her character, they built that character up last year. Like she's this amazing, sharpshooter or assassin. I can't remember what they refer to her as. And then I'm kind of a fan of her name's Ming Na Wen. I think she's a really great actress. I've seen her in. I watched most of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
I think I lost track after like season 3, I think. But I thought she was really good in that. She was in Stargate Universe, which
you like those Stargates.
Yeah, Stargate Universe was like, it was only 2 seasons long. They canceled it for some reason. They canceled it when it started getting really good. But anyways, no, I think she's a really great actress, and her facial expressions really sell her character, especially in this one. She just like, it was so weird. I guess it was weird to me though too that she seemed to want to help Din and Grogu.
Yeah, maybe she's just I was thinking she was like happy that she was alive, and so she's indebted to Boba Fett for rescuing her, and she's appreciative. So that's the way I took it.
Like a second chance, and she's gonna do right by it.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
Cool.
That's a good point. Yeah, something like that. That's what made me believe it. You know what I mean? Or that's the way I made it. Made sense in my head.
Right. I guess one thing I wanted to bring up too at the sort of the beginning was I thought it was kind of funny when Din was talking to Grogu about, now when we get here, if the Jedi want to take you, you're going to go with them, and Grogu's just kind of doing his thing, looking at him and making his noises, and he's like, "Don't you want to learn more of that Jedi stuff?"
Totally. Jedi stuff.
Yeah, and then like right after that, they showed like the nav screen on the Razor Crest, and it looked like it showed the planet, but it had a little circle in the center of it. I'm like, is that supposed to like resemble the Death Star? Like it gave it. the first look, it was just like the outline of a circle with a circle in the center, and to me, I'm like, oh, that looks like the Death Star, and I'm like, okay, the tragedy, and we're seeing the Death Star. They're telling us something's going on here,
Right.
To touch on your Christmas morning thing. I think Moff Gideon is coming to town. That was my thought there.
Yeah, you wanted him, and you got him, man.
Yeah.
Oh, they teased him in the beginning too. So yeah.
Oh, they did, right?
So they kind of let that cat out of the bag that he'll be ready, and they gave you another angle too that to look at those dark troopers real quick.
Did they?
Yeah, in the intro. I don't know if you skipped the intro, but
no, I just probably didn't notice it because I was like all wired and ready to watch. But I'll probably see it the next time I watch it.
Yeah, it was a real cool insert that they put in there. Kind of gives you another peek at the dark troopers real quick. So that was pretty cool. Can I mention something about that like cockpit scene? As they're flying in, Mando's is talking about the Jedi Temple that, as they're flying into what's the name of the planet? Tython. You see the Jedi Temple, and they're kind of like floating. They're kind of like flying above it and kind of turning. And then there's a shot where you see kind of like the temple from Grogu's perspective, like through a little window by Din's leg.
Oh, okay.
So you see the temple, and it's kind of small, and then you see the outline of the window, and it's kind of like through the perspective of Grogu. Anyways, the shot is a technique. It's called frame within a frame in filmmaking. So it's supposed to like draw attention to the subject matter in the middle. Here I go explaining things real quick. So, but anyways, I really liked the shot, and when I saw it, because you kind of see it in the window, and you kind of like it's kind of like turning as well. It kind of made me feel like this is what it is. It made me feel like I was on a roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Just the way it was shot and the way it was framed. It kind of gave you that feeling like, whoa, there's that big turn coming up, down the way.
Oh.
And I just thought it was brilliant. And I didn't know at the time it was Rodriguez as the director. But I have to give him major props for this anticipation that he built in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
As because filmmaking is a visual art, and it gave me that feeling of being in the cockpit and or on a roller coaster, and it gave me the feeling of movement just by like, because that's how you would see it, from that seat. You would see it as like a little a little Jedi temple, and then the window around it. So I just have to call that out. That was a nice shot, and whoever the director of photography and him, whoever agreed on that specific placement of the camera and everything was masterfully done. And my hats off to those guys. They're doing a great job, like all around, getting the right directors, the right actors, the right everything, special effects, makeup, story writers, everything, just top notch all the way around. Disney's going for gold with this, and so I don't know. That's from that little shot. I can take away so much. I just wanted to point that out. Sorry to go on a rant.
Oh, don't be sorry, dude. That's awesome. That's opening my eyes to something that I didn't see, and I would imagine anyone listening that didn't catch that, they're going to be like, whoa, I gotta go watch this again and see what Forrest is talking about.
Yeah, because it builds the anticipation for what's going to happen. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We didn't know going in Boba Fett was going to show up.
Right.
With Fennec. We didn't know that stormtroopers were going to show up. We didn't know that no Jedi was going to show up. We didn't know, you know what I mean? We didn't know anything. We just have the anticipation, and in that shot, it builds that anticipation for what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all, man. Something that I thought about, is it a seer stone or seeing stone that he sat on?
I think it was seeing stone, maybe. Yeah,
seeing stone. I'm wondering. Well, two things really. I'm wondering because it's been a long time since I played the Old Republic, so I don't remember because I told you that's like the planet you start out on in
Right.
the MMO as a Jedi. I don't remember if they actually show that at all in that game, but I was also wondering, does every Jedi temple have one of these? Because remember in the Last Jedi, there's one that Luke has Rey sit on, and then when he's doing his projection, he's not sitting, he's hovering on it, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's a similar stone. So I'm wondering if that's like a common thing in Jedi temples, like on Coruscant, like it looked like Yoda and Mace Windu they had that room where they sat on those little ottoman looking things.
Right.
Is that the equivalent of a seeing stone for them on Coruscant? I don't know. I don't really expect you to know the answer to that question. I was just throwing that out there as I wonder if that is, a common thing at the temples. Maybe we'll see more.
Maybe. Yeah, it's got to be, part of their, architecture, I guess you could say, and the way they create their spaces. Because, I mean, if there are more than one versions of them, then they're definitely something that they like to use. So I wouldn't put it past them that's a common piece in their temples.
Yeah. So they get to the Seeing Stone, and Mando's basically like, go do your stuff, do your thing, and
yeah, go on, do what you got to do. I guess I put you on here. I don't know.
Yeah. It was pretty funny, and like nothing happens, but then all of a sudden he gets encircled in the glowy stuff.
Yes.
That was
and then,
really cool.
Did you notice there was writing around it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it says. I'm sure somebody will decrypt it within the week
or today.
Yeah, or today. Somebody
Right.
they usually decrypt it, but I'm sure that has a message or something.
Oh man, yeah. I wonder what that says, because that's an ancient Jedi temple. So, dude, there's got to be some. I bet you it has to have something to do with the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Knowing these guys. But yeah, good catch. I remembered seeing it, but then I forgot about it till you just brought it up.
Yeah, I just remember the season. They do a good job. The viewers out there do a good job of deciphering that language or that code or whatnot. So
yeah, it's I don't know if it's the Star Wars common. It's Arabesh, something like that.
Good call. I don't know.
I had to throw a little nerd at you, I guess, a little extra nerd.
That's all right. That's what I'm here for, man. I'm here to learn.
Me too. So I guess before I jump into Slave 1, is there anything that you wanted to bring up before that?
Yes, when they fly in, he's like, I can't make a landing on the Jedi Temple. You have to fly in, or
oh, what does he take? We have to go out. What did he say? Roll out the window or take the top off or something like that. What does he say there?
We have to travel the last stretch with the windows down.
With the windows down. That's what it was.
and then Grogu's there, and he's like in the middle there, and his ears are flapping in the air. And he's looking like he's loving it. Like, woo! Oh my gosh. This is for kids, but man, this is good stuff.
Oh yeah.
This is some fun, good, fun vibes, man. This is Christmas morning stuff right here. Just good old family fun filmmaking, and they're loving it. Like, who's ever making this show loves this show.
Oh yeah.
And loves these characters. You can tell. I know who's making it. I'm not saying whoever.
No, I know. I just when I watch these, I picture Jon Favreau like sitting at his desk, like giggling while he's writing it, like, this is gonna be awesome, And then he's like calling Dave Filoni in the middle of the night, like, oh, dude, I got to tell you this part. That's just what I picture in my head. Like,
totally.
Just
George is gonna high five me for this one,
right? Totally, dude.
Dude, they're taking what George started, and man, they are taking it to this next great level. I mean, they're just wrapping everything they know and they love, and then just putting it all on the page, and it's coming through on the screen, man. It is amazing stuff. I'm overjoyed right now. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry if it's coming across like fanboy or whatever, but I am.
Dude, you're excited.
I'm excited.
Don't apologize for being excited.
I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to podcast today because I was excited.
Nice. So then what happens? Oh, he's waiting for Baby Yoda to do his thing and on the stone, and up in the sky, man, Slave One.
Slave One.
Oh my gosh. I was dank ferricking again. And it's funny, we always go back to Battlestar Galactica, but with the way that Slave One came rolling into the sky,
yeah,
it reminded me of the end of season 2 in Battlestar Galactica when they're on New Caprica and the Cylon Raiders come flying in, and they're all just like, oh gosh,
yeah.
And that was kind of like Mando's reaction was like, who the heck is this? I mean, I think he was hoping it was a Jedi, like, oh, that was fast, but
right.
But it was just like the way that thing came on, and again, like we've talked about, it didn't look like TV version of a ship in the sky. It looked straight out of the movies, and I'm like, oh my, I did not expect to see Slave One.
Me neither.
Even with that little tease at the beginning showing, Boba Fett kneeling down in front of Fennec Shand, I'm like, okay, something's going to happen here, but I didn't expect that.
So here's my thought when I'm thinking, I'm like, so if that can't, when I saw Slave One, I go, who stole Slave One? How did they get Slave One? Why are they here? And I'm like, because it can't be Boba Fett because he's like in the middle of the desert without any vehicles or anything. I was like, it can't be him. But that could go because if it's him, why did he stay on Tatooine? Like, why didn't you go somewhere else? Like, if you have your ship available to you, why didn't you leave?
Maybe he did.
Maybe he did. Maybe he is, like he says, making his way through the galaxy.
His dad's line.
His dad's line. Yeah.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the galaxy. And then he says, like my father before me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way.
I wonder where Jon Favreau got that line from.
Right.
Like my father before
like
me. Head
the nod.
That's what I'm saying, dude. This is an A+ episode.
Right.
Like, they just keep giving you Star Wars that you love. They're wrapping it up in new clothes, and they're like saying, here, play with this stuff. And I'm like, yes, give it to me.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And like, that wasn't even like, I would hope that nobody heard those two lines together and like cringed, because I was just like, yes, I wanted to text you as soon as I heard it.
Same here. I wanted to save it for this moment.
Right, exactly. So, okay, so you're thinking who stole Boba Fett's ship?
Yeah.
What else were you thinking as that was going on then?
How did they find him at this moment? Because it's not the Empire, so he's being tracked by the Empire. I get that, but like, why this moment? Like to show yourself, to reveal yourself. I mean, it's just like a little bit convenient, But
he's also, I mean, he's Boba Fett. He's skilled, and you remember in Empire, after Han does the trick where he goes out with the trash from the Star Destroyer. Right. And then all of a sudden you see Slave One kind of cruising behind him. Like he's a good tracker, I guess, right?
He's a tracker, and he says the first line he says, "I've been tracking you for a while."
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian. But he didn't come at him with any kind of like malice. It was like, look, we got to work something out here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, it was, in all honesty, it was very unexpected, because you've watched the Clone Wars now.
Yeah, I finished Clone Wars. Yes.
Young Boba was kind of a jerk, I guess, a bratty kid.
Yeah, bratty kid.
I mean, he had some reasons to be a Jedi, spoiler alert, a Jedi kills his father, but he was just like very bratty as a kid, and this is,
I thought he was better than everybody or whatnot too.
Yeah,
he had a little bit of arrogance to him. Yeah,
but here he is. I mean, I guess people grow up, but he was just very like balanced and knew how to get what he needed without violence, I guess, is a way to
like
get there.
Kind of learn some lessons or something with that Sarlacc pit or something. I don't know. Like
second chances.
Right. What did he say about fate intervening? Something like that? Is that what remember he said that? He said sometimes fate intervenes to save the wretched.
Yeah.
I think that line speaks volumes about him and his journey and him becoming more, like you said, centered and balanced as a human being. I think he says, look, all of this can be taken away with the blink of an eye, hence him falling into the Sarlacc pit. Right. He was all cocky. You could basically, I'm going to go over their ship. I'm going to go kick some butt.
Right.
But he one little, misstep, boom, he's in the Sarlacc pit. And then that whole ordeal kind of taught him a lesson or something, that he's not all that he's cracked up to be, A little humility went a long way with him, seems like.
It seems like, because the way he talked to Din was just, that whole situation was unexpected for me. I was like, okay, why is he talking to him? Like, I thought he was just gonna fight him right then and there, but no, and also he shows up with a hooded robe and he's got the hood on. I'm like, that's why I think Din was like, "Are you a Jedi?"
Oh, good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
nice with the robe. Yeah,
but then he's got his Tusken Raiders guns and
or
a gun, and then the gaffy stick, and but yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling, but it's just there was so much going on there. I thought it was really cool the way he talked to him, and he was going to make a bargain. Obviously using the child. Yoda, Grogu.
Yeah, Grogu.
Every name you can think of. Using Grogu.
It's the bargaining chip.
It's the bargaining chip, like everybody does. And Mando's just like, Mando was ready to fight him.
Oh yeah, well, he's got the armor on. He's protected. He's fine.
Right, and then even when he finds out, and I mean, he was right on with Fennec Shand. He knew that was her the second she spoke.
Right.
But he was still like, you guys, I don't remember the words because I only saw it once and I didn't write it down. But I'm going to take you guys down, and that's when Boba's like, she's got her sights on the child. So,
right, that whole setup was great. Boba Fett again, tactician. Like he knows he's got Beskar armor on. He can take a blaster bolt, several. He's not going to get penetrated. But the baby, he knew the baby was out there, so let's train our sights on the baby and then use that as our bargaining chip to get the armor back, because that's the goal is here, just to get that armor back. But man, I mean, that whole exchange was awesome because he's like, you don't, it doesn't belong to you,
right?
Mandalorians, it's mine. And then he's like, that's when he goes into the whole father bit and everything. But Mando still doesn't believe him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, doesn't the Empire come out of nowhere?
Yeah, well, they put their guns down, and Mando takes his jetpack off.
Right.
And he's going to agree. I think at that point he was going to agree to it because he's going to do whatever it takes to protect Grogu. And then the Empire, the dropship comes in, and Din obviously he starts running to go. Should have grabbed his jetpack. He could have been there pretty quick.
Looks like he left it there.
But I think as I'm sure you being full on parent, when your kid's in danger, you probably you don't think of anything. You think of that kid and you gotta
get back to the kid.
Yeah. And so that was good writing there. I think that they wrote it that way.
I just wanted to mention something about the dropship, the Empire dropship. When I first saw it, I'm like, where have I seen that dropship before?
Rise of Skywalker?
Yep, Rise of Skywalker. It almost looks like the same one that Rey brings down with the lightning. The best part of that movie, by the way, when you see the lightning come out.
Oh yeah.
So could we be seeing the first glimpses of the Empire turning into the First Order? I think this might be one of the first times we've seen a little connection. Is all.
Well, I mean, maybe the second time, but I get what you're saying because we're still not sure if that was Snoke in those tubes on Navarro.
True.
But yeah, good catch on the drop ships because it took me a minute. I'm like, those ships look familiar, and it took me until skipping a little ahead when they were flying away. And I'm like, that's the one that Rey used the lightning on.
Right.
So yeah, I guess it's the same ships
or earlier versions, kind of like
right
when the clones had like X-wings, and then we had X-wings with that we know as the New Hope. Kind of like a different, older version of that ship.
Right.
Which is pretty cool.
It's very cool. So he. Din runs up and tries to get Grogu to snap out of his, I don't even know, like forced trance. I'm not familiar with what they referred to that as with him, reaching out in the Force.
It looked cool though.
Yeah, it looked really cool. And dude, there was one shot that he looked just like Master Yoda sitting in there, and I'm like, my first thought was like, is he gonna start aging or something? Like I don't know. My mind was all over the place because just the one shot. I'm like, oh my gosh, he looks just like Master Yoda here.
Could be his son.
Could be.
Like his father before him.
Nice. So then, Mando's like, okay, well, I got to get this kid. And the Force thing blasts him over and it basically knocks him out.
Yeah. Going back to Baby Yoda real quick before something just popped in my head. Instead of it calling him baby Yoda, how about Yoda Jr.?
Yoda Jr. Nice. Junior. You never know, man. That could very well be the case.
Not to beat that horse again. Yes, just, beat that to death.
Right. But on that note too, I was thinking last week and I forgot about it, but when Ahsoka says she's only known one other being like that, and she says, wise Master Yoda, maybe she never met Yaddle?
Or maybe not. Maybe after the kid, Yaddle was out of, maybe they had the kid and then she disappeared to raise the kid, or, how it goes when he sent her on a mission or something, but really it was to like hide the pregnancy and all that,
Right. Raise the kid. Yeah.
Raise the kid.
But I mean, he was being, trained at the temple. I don't know, listeners out there, if you guys have any info on this, hit us with an email. Yeah. So then we get to see some serious action, dude, with Fennec Shand, blasting a bunch of the stormtroopers and Boba Fett. Oh my gosh, Boba Fett, like
and more Boba Fett
using the gaffy stick to shatter a stormtrooper's helmet. And
I have to keep saying that these are like the Rambo moments, man. I mean, just like he just shows up out of nowhere, like he's behind him all of a sudden, or chasing Voorhees or something. Like these are just like, so you see the guys and they're like, "Where is he? Where is he?" He's like, "Oh, he's behind me." Boom, I'm dead. Like, it's like these Rambo moments are great. So,
dude, they were brilliant. Like
and he was calm through the whole thing. He wasn't like upset. He wasn't like, he was just like a wise kung fu master,
Yeah, dude, the look on his face, totally. Tamura Morrison, man, oh my gosh, I love seeing him back in Star Wars.
Yeah,
he's every clone trooper in the prequels. He's Jango Fett. He's Boba Fett. Like, dude, I'm just like, oh my gosh. And his, not to jump too far ahead, but when you hear him with the helmet on talking, I'm just like, oh man, it's like every clone trooper in the prequels and Boba Fett, because they changed Jeremy Bullock's voice. I think he was Boba Fett in the original, and they changed it to Tamura Morrison's voice.
There you go.
In one of the redos of those movies. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was going to say the same thing. I was going to say that they used his voice in the in the remakes. So
nice.
Just copying what you're saying, echoing, channeling my echo.
Well, we are clone troopers, so we got that same.
Oh, yep, same brain.
Yep,
same wavelength. Yeah, she was a great sharpshooter. I mean, she does this thing where she jumps off the rock shooting backwards, and this awesome
dude.
like kick that she does. I mean, that was like a great move. Give it up to Robert Rodriguez for choreographing or having choreographed like this great action sequence between all these stormtroopers and that take it, man. I mean, and then going back to Boba Fett when he's not, in his armor, fighting those stormtroopers with the gaffy stick. I mean, he's smashing those helmets off like in the pieces, like so gnarly, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, that is just gruesome stuff for a kid, and watching it with little fours, and I'm like, oh man, this is, he takes out that one stormtrooper with the orange kind of like half vest, the one with the arm movements that kept doing the arm movements.
Oh yeah, he was like the commander.
Yeah,
or like the sand troopers from A New Hope. But yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, he took out that guy like all gruesome, like, and pierced him with the, like, oh man, that's some gross stuff. But he was brutal, like, again.
Oh yeah,
just smashing those guys with that stick. But I mean, that was nothing compared to when he put the armor on, man. Wow. I'm fast forwarding, I think.
Yeah, the one thing I wanted to bring up about Fennec Shan too was she somehow managed to find the boulder from Indiana Jones and
totally
kick it down to take out some stormtroopers.
That looks straight out of like the Clone Wars, man. When
Oh,
they're
yeah.
in there getting all bouldered up and he's coming at them, and they're still, the one guy on the turret is still shooting at the boulder like he's gonna do something.
Yeah, they totally take out the E-Web cannon.
Yeah,
dude, I thought it was cool. I'm like, what does she do? She's trying to kick the boulder, and then you flash to the other end of it, and you just see it rolling down. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
that's so good.
It was so good looking.
She
And
did a
then,
great job.
yeah, she was awesome, dude. Like I said, I'm a fan of hers. I like her work. But she was just like top notch, just kick butt in this episode.
It reminded me of a live action version of someone playing me in Call of Duty, and I was one of those stormtroopers. Because she's just like choo 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 choo. You're like all over the place. Like, how did you do that? I'm shooting at you, and you turn around and get me. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's so good.
I'm definitely one of the stormtroopers because she's one of those people that like prestige like 10 times over. Like, to Halo jump and kill you from every angle, and you can never hit them.
Oh yeah, dude,
So-
that's so funny.
That's what they reminded me of. So they've obviously played Call of Duty,
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're like, let's choreograph this fight scene on Call of Duty.
So then you see after Boba takes out another stormtrooper with spears him.
Yeah,
He looks over at the Razor Crest, and you're just like, okay, I know what's going on here.
yeah. Just
And
gonna go grab that stuff.
right, so then Mando wakes up and basically he's like, okay, I can't do anything with you, Grogu, so I'm going to go help these guys. And then, of course, right when he walks away, the force field closes and Grogu falls asleep, which I thought, thinking right now, I thought was kind of interesting because in The Last Jedi, when Luke is doing his projections hovering over that stone, when he's done, he dies, he doesn't fall asleep, but he like falls over, kind of how Grogu does here. I mean, I'll have to watch it again to make sure I'm not like,
That's a good point.
crossing streams or anything, but it felt very familiar to me in my first watch. So Mando goes down to help Fennec, and they get overrun.
Yeah,
And all of a sudden you see the thermal detonator. I think it was a thermal detonator drop down, and I'm like, oh man, poop is gonna hit the fan. I'm just
dude, it was funny. Mando was like, I've seen it. I've seen worse.
right. Oh yeah, right.
He's getting blasted from like every angle. Which I have to give credit to the stormtroopers for actually hitting their mark multiple times. So hats off to those guys who actually hit their target, and good for them. Sorry you're dead,
Sorry.
but good job actually hitting your target.
Would you say were they good enough for Rambo?
Yeah, it's good enough for Rambo.
Good call though. Yeah, they actually were hitting their target. I thought it was really cool that he basically for Fennec Shand.
Yeah, totally. That was a great idea.
Yeah, like he obviously knows how to take advantage of his armor. So yeah, then that thermal detonator drops, and you see the guy behind the stormtroopers kind of drop down, and you're like, oh gosh, I was
it's
like
Iron Man. Oh wait, no, it's Boba Fett.
Nice. And dude, right there, it's like you get to see the Boba Fett that I think most people have always wanted to see, just kicking total butt. And
oh my gosh, was
dude using his gadgets like the wrist shots and the one from his knee and
the one from his knee. Have you ever seen it? Did you even know he had a knee gun thing?
No clue.
I had no clue either. That's a brand new thing,
dude.
I'm gonna give him a pass too that he found a rocket.
Oh yeah. I actually that popped in my head. I'm like, when he fires the rocket, I'm like, okay, so where did that one come from, and how's he gonna get another one?
Yeah, unless he had some on Slave One. But how did he get to Slave One and the Razor Crest? So
yeah, they weren't parked too close as we get to see soon here.
And he doesn't have a backpack, does he? He doesn't have a. Oh yeah, he does. I'm sorry, he does. That's how he fires the thing from it. Sorry.
Yeah, right.
Brain fart.
All good, but dude, it was like the last stormtrooper he takes out where he puts the blaster pistol like on his arm, just bam. I'm like, oh man, that's basically to do another Call of Duty analogy. That was like basically me in my prime when I played that game, like those games, and you get to see like the final kill on the screen at the end of the game. That was like, that's how I pictured myself when I was playing Call of Duty a lot.
That's a great way. That's a great way to look at it.
Yeah. Now, of course, when I play, I'm nowhere near. I'm a stormtrooper when I play Call of Duty.
I'm a stormtrooper, yes.
And then, the stormtroopers retreat, and you see Boba looking at, and I'm rushing ahead because there was one other thing I wanted to bring up.
I like how Boba Fett used his his eye aimer thing.
Right. Yeah, that was really cool. But the way he's
just an antenna.
Yeah. I think we always just assumed that it was an antenna. At least I did growing up.
Same here. Yeah.
So it's cool. We got to see. Well, we saw Cobb Vanth use it, right?
Yep.
And now we can see Boba use it. But yeah, the way he's looking at those ships as they're starting to fly away, I'm like, oh, he's gonna shoot one, isn't he? And then the thing goes down, and I like the after effect where Din's like, nice shot, and Boba goes, I was aiming for the other one.
Oh, and he looked when they're blown up, and then he looks back. I go, oh my god, this is another great shot right here. It's just like this is Robert Rodriguez, the Desperado when they're walking away in slow mo, like
right.
And it's another Iron Man kind of thing too when he blows up the tank in Iron Man 1 and he's walking away. You know what I mean? I think it's all little nods to like that old type of like explosion in the background, and then in the foreground like something like cool happening.
Yep, good catch, man.
This guy is good, man. I highly recommend. He's got a book, Robert Rodriguez, it's called like One Man Crew or something. Hold on, let me look it up. Anyways, he talks about like all his he talks about how he made the mariachi, and it was like a rags to riches story, and it's a great story for like just making yourself, like doing the work, doing the hard work.
Cool. I'd like to check that out.
He makes a whole movie. He's everything. He's like him and like two other guys, and they make the El Mariachi. I'll let you borrow the book. It's a fun read.
Awesome.
He sells his body to science to get the money to buy the film. I mean, this guy is like total self-made man. There's a whole story behind him and how he got famous, and he goes through it kind of like in diary form.
Okay.
Like he wrote like a journal.
Oh,
So-
I like stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's so you can't put it down because it's like the next day is like something huge happens. Hold on, let me grab
Nice.
the name of the book. I think
Okay.
it's called like One Man Crew or something like that.
Dude, I want to see him direct another episode though, or something. I want to see him do something else in Star Wars. I thought he did a great job directing this.
Rebel Without a Crew,
Rebel Without a Crew, nice.
or how a 23-year-old filmmaker with $7,000 became a Hollywood player. I'll let you borrow this. It's an awesome book.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
If anyone's a Robert Rodriguez fan, I mean, they should pick it up and read it because it's a fun read. You get a little insight into how his brain works, I guess.
Dude, that's the fun stuff, man. Especially, being a creative person. I'm totally into those things.
Oh, yeah.
I like to know where other people, how other people do what they're doing, because it'll only make me a better, creator.
Well, you find out that you got similarities and you're not so different from these people. They just had some breaks happen in their lives and they had the time to do it too. They weren't
right.
They made the right choices at the right time in their life to be able to pursue what they wanted to pursue.
So Boba Fett, they show that one scene where he's in his armor. I'm not trying to be a jerk when I say it, but he's got like a little bit of a belly.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up, but I forgot. Yeah, you're
Really?
right. He's a little portly. He's a little
bit, but it looked fine to me. I was like, okay, that one shot of him standing there and he's just like posing for a second, and he's got the little bit of a belly, but I'm like, he looks so BA like this.
Oh man,
and especially, no offense to Timothy Oliphant, but he didn't look right in the Boba Fett armor at all. Samura Morrison puts it on, and you're like, that is freaking Boba Fett, man.
Yeah, he looks gnarly. He looks BA. He looks like he's ready to mow down some people. So
just talking about it, hearing you say that, like, I got goosebumps again. I'm like, this is. This was just so well done. The next part I hate.
Yes, the tragedy.
The Razor Crest getting blown to bits.
I know.
I bought the darn toy.
I know. I was thinking about you and the whole thing that you got there,
Mm-hmm.
and that whole situation, and thinking that ship was going to be like. I mean, they can't put it together now. I mean, every fish person and every Grief Karga guy can't put dust back together.
Right. I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I'm going to assume that there won't be another Razor Crest
or Jawa. Yeah.
Jawa.
He's gonna have to find a new ship.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that, man. And I even I didn't like scream it, but I said it out loud while I was watching. I'm like, I just spent money on this. Why?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the situation because they were like, oh, how do they that's not the only toy they marketed. There's like Legos and other Razor gear, and then they go ahead and blow it up.
Man.
Like the huge, what these people have to tell a story, the way they want to tell it, because I felt it that when the ship got blown up.
Yeah.
To me, that's the worst part. That's the hardest part to swallow in this whole episode is the ship blown up, and not the baby I know the baby's captured or whatnot,
right?
But that's temporary. Come on, you know that.
yeah, that's definitely temporary.
Star Wars is built on let's go get my friend back,
Yeah,
and that's all it is. We're gonna go get our friend back, and let's go get a team. Let's get our friend back. You're in, you're cool. Okay, but the Razor Crest getting blown up, I mean, that is like final.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was just like a one-shot kill from that Imperial trooper, man. Just like as soon as they like went up and you just see that bolt go down, I'm like, I was like Luke in Empire. No.
Not laughing at you
man.
again, just laughing at your joke you just made.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, hey, like you said, they've got the stuff. You know, they got the whats to tell their story, and I give them credit, man. They're not pulling punches. You know,
No.
I mean, maybe in some cases this season, but for the most part, they're just like, nope, we're doing this, and love it or hate it. You know,
goodbye. They did it. They finally killed my car. Again.
Yeah, I know you just said that. That was funny.
It's like a gag. It's a gag at this point, you know, like it's a finally the gag. It's like it's blown up now.
Right.
That could just pave the way for like a cooler ship. I don't know.
I guess, but then it's gonna pave the way for me going, well, this ship's cool and I like it. You know, when I get it next year, you know, it takes a year for them to make them, and then by then, who knows? He might.
Is there another iconic ship that maybe he could? I don't know. He kind of made this one iconic, but
oh yeah. Hey, maybe they'll bring in the you know, they're big fans of the Knights of the Old Republic. Maybe they'll bring in the Ebon Hawk.
okay,
The ship that you use. It's kind of like, you know, their version of the Falcon.
right.
Yeah.
That or what's the other one? The one from Shadows of the Empire. That guy's yeah, that kind of had like a Millennium Falcon look.
Oh, dude, I'm never gonna remember what that was called.
Yeah, but you could use a ship there. And there was a book I read, Sunrider, wasn't one or something like that?
Naomi Sunrider or something like that.
Yeah, something
that sounds
like
very familiar.
there was a ship and had like these cool powers to it or something. It had the ability to do something really cool. Something with sun. You know, there's other ships that they can pull from. I'm sure like they can come in contact with.
Absolutely.
Or make a brand new one like they did with the Razor Crest. Yeah.
So then after the Razor Crest, you know, Mando finds the Beskar spear and the little ball.
Yeah.
The little ball, man, tells a story. It's
the dice. It's kind of like Han Solo's dice, you know.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole, you know, story here, it's their little token.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say a little, you know, their little keepsake that they keep, and it helps them remind them of each other. I mean, you said it earlier.
Yeah.
That's with you know, that's what made him go back and go get him. You know, kind of the same thought process. Yeah, but the thing gets blown up, but the three most important things are still available. The Boba Fett's armor came out. He found the ball, you know, out of nowhere, and he found the Beskar staff.
Yeah, which I'm assuming they're building that up for him to use against Moff Gideon and the Darksaber.
Oh,
I mean that's my thought. And unless they're they're not gonna have anybody else fight Moff Gideon. I don't think. I think it's got to be Din Djarin. At least that would make sense to me, because I was starting to think, well, maybe a Jedi will come and save the day, but this is Mando's show, you know. I think he needs to do it. But then the Dark Troopers, man, send in the Hounds, send in the Dark Troopers. They come flying out, dude, like Iron Man style, War Machine and Iron Man, you know, which was just I in my notes I wrote Dark Troopers. Wow, all caps. I'm just like I caught the little Iron Man situation there, but the way those things looked, dude.
Yeah.
I want the action figure.
and he called them Dark Troopers too.
Yeah, right.
So that was good.
It's like we're not hiding what we're doing here.
No, you guys that said they were Dark Troopers, you were right on the money.
Right. These
are Dark Troopers. They're going in to get that baby.
Yeah. Dude, they
give me that baby.
They got the baby and they flew away like it was nothing, you know. Fennec and Din tried to get up that hill to save Grogu, but they were too late. Boba's like, I got a shot, and Din's like, nope, don't be shooting to hurt the baby. And
they get the baby.
Yeah, they'll get the baby for now. And then Boba, okay, here's something.
Hot water burn the baby.
Nice.
Hot water burn the baby. Adam Sandler fans.
Nice, dude. Here's a part that I guess was a little weird for me. Is Boba's like, I'll track them to see where they go, and he sees that Imperial cruiser, and he's like, he goes, they're back, and Fennec Shan's like, who's back? The Empire. It's only been 6 years, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, wouldn't it have? I don't know. That's my only issue with this episode. It was that, because I get what they're doing. They're trying to build it up, but for him to say they're back when they haven't really gone away yet is just odd. I like that he said something along the lines of, "This isn't a spice dream." It's like Boba hits the spice.
It is.
But I don't know. Did you think it was weird that he said the Empire is back?
Yes, it did. It did caught me off guard, because I mean, we've been seeing the Empire since season first episode, and
yeah,
it's nothing new to us. But I guess to him, if he really kind of proves that he really has been on Tatooine this whole time, because there I guess he didn't come across any Empire or anything.
There wasn't really a Imperial presence there, which
right.
I guess kind of makes sense, because, well, no, but they were like in A New Hope. They were there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, maybe you're onto something with him not having left Tatooine. I just think it's so weird that he wouldn't have. But I was also thinking maybe he knows some things that we don't, and maybe we won't until his series comes out.
Yeah, that's one thing I want to ask you. You ready? You ready to see the Boba Fett and Fennec Shan series?
I'm in. I'm down.
I'm in too.
I mean, I think I may have said in one of our podcast episodes that I wasn't sure I wasn't sure I wanted Boba Fett to come back. I may have just said this in a text. I don't know, but early on, where there were the rumors before this season and stuff, I'm like, I don't want it to take away from Mando. I'm loving this character, and he's already got a battle Baby Yoda for attention. And Boba Fett will show up, and it might just overshadow. But seeing him at the end of the first episode this season, and seeing him now, I'm just like whatever. He's working with Mando. That's cool. I didn't expect that. But if there is a Fennec Shan and Boba Fett thing, a series, I'm in, man. I'm all in.
I'm all in. I was all in. Once you put that armor on and you get to see it, and he's kicking butt and taking names, I'm in. I'm like, I want to know. I want to see more of him too.
And Flying Slave 1.
And Flying Slave 1, dude. Oh man. Wow.
Right. So
I was like, how are they going to top next week's? This is going to be a total dud episode, I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I don't know, man. They got this episode that just totally rocked. Like, I gave the Ahsoka one, which is like a huge thing to happen, like an A, right?
Mm-hmm.
This one is an A+ in my book, like higher.
Dude, I know. And this season for me, like the Bo-Katan episode was
right. The book. Oh my god, I forgot about the Bo-Katan.
that was like, oh my gosh, this is like the best stuff I've seen. Like you had said, it was like live action Clone Wars, and
yes,
I'm just like, this is amazing. And then Ahsoka, and I'm like, okay, where are they going to go from here?
Right.
Like this was so good. I'm one of those people. I fell in love with live action Ahsoka right away. Not to take away from the animated one, I love her as well. She's a great character in both mediums.
I think the entire team is, her doing the show. I mean, Ashley Eckstein. Is that her name? Her doing the show, and then Rosario, taking the ball and running with it in live action. It's like, I think it's a combination. And
Yeah, yeah,
I don't see it as two people. I see it as the same, just different versions.
right, exactly. That was I think it was really well done, and that whole episode, I'm just like, this is so cool. I've watched it 5 times.
Wow.
And then this morning I get home from work and I'm like, oh, it's probably just going to be like a heist episode, it'll be fun, but it'll be just like, the next 2 episodes are going to probably be the big ones. And then the tragedy. And I'm like, oh gosh. Oh no. and I have a feeling I'm going to be watching this episode a lot.
Yes. I already saw it twice and I can't wait to see it again.
I know. I'm itching to watch it again.
I wanted to watch it like right after I watched it.
Yeah, same here.
Which has never happened to me before. Like I'm like, okay, I could take a break. Like no, this one, like I want to watch it again right now. Like, what just happened? Like what?
Right. So dude, and then there's even more to this.
There's still more.
Right. So they. Boba Fett lands and the 3 characters are talking. And Boba Fett's like, let me show you this. And he brings up the little screen.
Oh my God. Yes.
And he's like, Mando's like, he goes, this is my father. And he's like, your father was a foundling? And I'm like, what? So I don't know if they're necessarily changing it, but it was never.
They're setting the record straight.
Yeah, there you go. That's a perfect way to word that. They're setting the record straight that Jango Fett was a foundling. And Mando immediately is like, well, then that armor belongs to you. Right. And Boba Fett's like, I appreciate it. Like the camaraderie between these guys, man. I'm like, I thought these two were going to fight. That's what I thought in the first episode. I'm
when
like,
he saw him.
They are building this up for a fight, which they were. But it's not the fight I was expecting.
It's a fight of words and lineage and right of passage and right of property. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a fist fight. It wasn't a laser fight or anything.
I'll have to listen to what other people are saying. Other fans and whatnot, because I'm curious to see if they felt the same way, that they were expecting these two to actually be shooting at each other and using their little what are your grappling hooks and gadgets and stuff to attack each other. But no, they're working together. And Din basically tells Boba Fett, like, we're square now, you can have the armor. And Boba Fett's like, no. He's like, we agreed in exchange for the return of my armor will ensure the safety of the child until he is returned to you safely, we're in your debt. And I'm like, oh, so this isn't even over. I'm like these guys, Boba Fett and Fennec Shand are going to stick around. And I'm like, like this is, you add Cara Dune to that mix and Grief Karga. And I'm like, oh man, they're building a team and Bill Burr.
I'm talking Bill Burr.
I always forget his name. Mayfield? Is it Mayfield?
Yeah, I got it right here. It's Miggs Mayfield. Is that right?
Okay.
Miggs?
I never knew his first name, but yeah, maybe I'm sure that's right if you looked it up.
let me verify that.
So yeah, he's like, he goes to back to Navarro and he's talking to Cara Dune, the Marshal of the New Republic. As you see, she's signed in, and he's looking for Mayfield. And she's like, I don't remember what she says word for word, but basically, you know how I feel about the Empire or something. And he's like, he has, what does he say? They have the child. I forget.
Yeah. They have the child, and she changes her tune real quick.
Oh yeah. You could see it in her eyes, man. She was just like, no, we're doing everything we can to get that baby.
Yeah. So it's Miggs Mayfeld.
Mayfeld. Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Sorry, my writing was a little weird.
Oh, I always think of Mayfield as well. So good. Mayfeld. I got to try and remember that, because I think I called him. I can't remember what I called him a couple episodes ago. It wasn't that either. I think maybe because of Baker Mayfield. Like I think of that.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, he's talking to Cara Dune about doing a breakout for Mayfeld.
Was doing 50 hard years.
Right.
for that whole little attempted heist and killing of the one Republic guard or whatnot.
The voice, Matt Lanter, the voice of Anakin in the Clone Wars.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay, so then
Matt
we get to the end of that episode, and I love this part, man. You go into that little room where baby Grogu is, and he's just force beating the poop out of stormtroopers.
And he's choking them too. He's choking them,
dude. He's not messing around.
Yeah, he's not just like flinging them around the room. He's like choking them. I watched it with the captions on the second time, and it was when he was doing towards the end, it said choking. So I'm like, he's using force choke. That's a dark side power.
Right.
So he's not about not using dark side powers, which is putting a little bit of like doubt that if he's 100% good. I think he's got a little bit of that whole, in the middle type of thought process. The baby Yoda,
right.
I messed up.
Grogu.
Baby Grogu has, yeah. Oh man.
Oh, that just reminded me of, when I just said Grogu to you, it reminded me of Ahsoka when in the last episode where Din is like, "Okay, kid, get the rock or whatever," and Ahsoka goes up to him and she goes, "Grogu." Like it was a total Ahsoka thing. It was awesome.
Totally.
That just reminded me of that. But yeah, see, and that's something she said, was that she sensed a lot of fear in him. Where fear leads. So he's definitely unstable. He could go either way, and that's kind of disturbing. That he's in the hands of the Empire, man. I mean, they could turn him into a weapon if they have him for too long.
She also said his thoughts went dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were saying, you don't know if that was, like you were saying, Fives. You don't know if that meant dark side or just like he just forgot.
Yeah,
he almost was in shock or something.
Right. Yeah, and dude, I mean, think about that too. What if he actually witnessed Anakin, Darth Vader at that point killing the younglings? What if Grogu saw that?
Yeah, then that would totally make him want to hide his powers and not be like anything. Like if you saw all his little buddies, like all oh man, and it's funny that they don't show you that, but it's like shown but not shown. Like it's in your head what happens,
right?
Which is great because it's better than showing you, because in our heads it's like horrific stuff.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And it makes it 10 times worse. So, but if he actually witnessed it, like you were asking, I think that would totally scar him and make him think twice about fulfilling his Jedi destiny, really.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask me, I'm just in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I like that thought process. It makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, the end of the episode, Moff Gideon is like, it's almost like he's enjoying the view of what Grogu's doing, but he's also, plotting in his head, like, I'm going to use these powers somehow. He's like, what can I do?
Well, I thought the way I saw it the second time, like that's the way I saw it the first time, like, oh, look at him, look what I can do with this guy. But the second time, I thought he was trying to wear him out.
Oh yeah, because he did say,
yeah,
I know you get sleepy or something after you do this, right?
Right.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, you get sleepy, just like, and I think he was trying to wear him out so they can shackle him, and then
yeah. Oh yeah, good call, dude. Very good call. Then he busts out the dark saber. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. No, I was gonna say the same thing.
Oh, okay.
He goes, "Look what I got."
And you see Baby Yoda like almost like wanting to touch it. It was interesting. Yeah. Like, was he going to? I don't think he was going to touch the blade, but was he going to maybe try to use the Force to get it from him? Maybe.
Yeah.
But he was just too worn out.
Right.
Yeah, he was almost doing that. Like that he does. Like puts his hand out, like gimme.
Yeah.
And then he says, "What does he say? You're you're not ready. What does he say? You're not ready to learn how to use this yet, or something.
Yeah, he was like, not so fast, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not ready for that.
So I wonder if, man, see, that's what makes me think too that they could be using him as a weapon. You know, maybe there's, I don't know how I feel about it, but maybe maybe Snoke is around, and maybe this is one of Snoke's new apprentices. I don't know. Who knows? We could speculate all day.
Yeah. Oh, he goes. You can put an eye out with this.
Oh yeah,
which is
your eye out.
Exactly. Which I'm not sure if you know this, but I think Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn and them are friends with Ralphie. You know that, right? Like,
no, I didn't know
like
that.
the actor who plays Ralphie. So
friends with him.
Yeah, they're friends with him. Like, I saw a comedy special where they brought him out to be like, just like the introduce, be the kind of like the host, and you wouldn't be able to recognize him now. The kid who plays Ralphie,
right?
The guy who plays Ralphie. So I'm sure he probably put that line in there to, like, for his friend.
That's I wouldn't be surprised. That seems to be Jon Favreau's style of writing.
Right.
Very cool. Yeah, I remember hearing that, but I forgot all about it until you brought it up. They showed the little stun circle that you see in A New Hope when the stormtroopers stun Princess Leia. When they stun Baby Yoda or Grogu.
Right. Because when they set their guns to stun, right, and then you see the circle. Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
Thought that was cool. I like seeing that.
To back up just a hair, the actor who played Ralphie is Peter Billingsley.
Okay.
Billingsley. So not to just call him that guy or whatnot. Just actually refer to him as a real person.
Gotcha. So yeah, they put the cuffs on Baby Yoda or Baby Grogu, and that's pretty much the end of the episode. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes, because I'll just throw two thoughts out there that I've been thinking about ever since I watched it. There's going to be a Jedi before the season is over. Whether it's Ahsoka again or somebody else. I would probably bet some money on it that we'll see a Jedi before this season is over, because he was sitting on that stone for quite a while.
A long time.
Yeah.
Very long time.
I already kind of said maybe it would be Luke, because we hear his theme briefly in the last episode, but I have no idea who it's going to be. I've heard people talking about Mace Windu, which would just be, I'm all for it. Whatever, whoever it is.
Right. He'll have
another Jedi.
Bionic hands.
Yeah.
Maybe, I'm thinking I don't know if you want me to save it for the speculation show, but I can save it.
Okay. So Forrest, I think we pretty much tackled this episode.
Yeah. I think we got this one good.
It was, I don't think my mind hasn't changed. It's an A+ still.
Same here. A+. Yes.
Right.
10 out of 10.
I'm counting the hours till I watch it again with Mrs. Fives later. I can't wait. I'll probably watch it again tomorrow morning when I get home from work.
This one's a rewatchable episode. I'm telling you, it's so good all around. And look for those little directing cues. That's all that makes the episode a little bit more fun.
Absolutely. So, Clone Army, thank you for listening as usual.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? We're going to go ahead and say, don't share our show. Let's just keep this little circle just as small as we can, because we don't want it to get overblown and too big for its britches. We just want to stay where we're at and kind of be, maintain our level of listeners and let's just try to keep this one under wraps. Let's keep it just for us, you and us, intimate Star Wars talk. So do us a favor and don't share it, please. Don't email us either at clonearmyradio@gmail.com. Please don't. We don't want to read them. kind of sick of them.
Yeah, there's just so many. Don't contact us. It's a trap.
That's a trap. Admiral Piet.
All right, fours. May the Schwartz be with you.
And also with you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Clone Army Radio. Email us with thoughts or questions at clonearmyradio@gmail.com. Please remember to click subscribe so you don't miss the newest episodes.
Do it. Admiral Piet.